Consider today to be a crash course on the energy all around us that shapes our lives, not just literally, but also spiritually and scientifically.
We'll unpack what it means to have a vibe, or for our younger listeners, aura farming. From the physics of sound waves and electromagnetic energy to the spiritual resonance of our emotions and intentions.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts and Frenzy.
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 We're gonna start this off how we always start this off, but this is special for this episode because we were talking about frequencies and energy. So I'm gonna go into a little bit about energy cleansing. A lot of spiritual practices use sage, palo santo, pine, they'll burn lavender to clean their energy. And the same way that different sounds and different rocks have different frequencies, different herbs, they have different frequencies. They're for cleansing different things. Sage is specifically for energy cleansing. So we sage every show. It's just to cleanse the energy of the room, cleanse our inner energy, center us, refocus us. It's also really good for praying over and setting intentions. So
you cleanse our crystals?
Yeah, we're going to cleanse our crystals. Oh, and let me explain. We got some crystals here today. So this is just a quartz crystal. I've got black obsidian. I've got tiger's eye. I've got amethyst. And this is just quartz shaved down. And same way we were talking about how different rocks have different frequencies. They all have their own purpose. I'm going to charge them for a second. Charging them is essentially just putting intentions into the crystals. A lot of people, they'll charge their crystals and they won't let other people touch them, but I'm gonna let you touch mine.
I can touch them.
You can touch my crystals.
I am honored to touch these crystals. I'll set a little intention as well.
Yes, you could touch my crystals because I think you got some good energy regardless. So yeah, but let's talk about like frequencies and how they like shape our lives in real life. There's like a ton of practices around energy cleansing, energy healing. You can talk about yoga, qigong, tai chi, Reiki. Have you ever heard of Reiki?
I've not heard of Reiki.
Reiki is a Native American practice of energy cleansing, essentially for cleansing the chakras. Although they don't practice the chakras, it's just like cleansing the energy. Pranic healing is a Chinese version of Reiki, and Reiki and pranic healing, the practices are hands-off practices. So the cool thing about pranic healing specifically is it talks about the chakras and how everything and everyone has chakras. So like this table has chakras, you have chakras, that wall has chakras. And so like if there's a bad energy in your home and you wanted somebody to come in and cleanse the energy of your home and they practiced pranic healing specifically, they would come into your house with a bowl of salt water, and they would feel the chakras of whatever it is that they're trying to heal, right? And they'd say, oh, the sacral chakra of this chair is clogged, whatever reason. And they would go and they cleanse the energy out and they put it into the salt water, and that's how you get rid of the energy. I'm actually level one certified in both pranic healing and Reiki.
Oh, period.
I've been Reiki certified since I was 12 and pranic healing certified since I was 20. Okay. So these are practices that I use every day, including like yoga too. I do a decent amount of yoga and meditation. What about you?
I can't say I've been doing the best with it lately, but I definitely do try to do yoga every day. It's something I've been practicing for years at this point, probably since 18. I visited my cousin and saw like how light her energy was, and I realized she was doing yoga every day. Gave it a try. Mm-hmm. Changed my life. Yeah. Like, of course, it's great for the physical, but it's amazing for the mental. And it's funny you mentioned qigong. When I was really, really getting into like my spirituality, there was a time where I'd go outside and I was getting into like the practice of qigong.
Yeah,
and that shit is dope. Like, you can physically feel the yourself energy. Manipulating energy around you. I need to get back into that.
That's a Tai Chi too. I really like Tai Chi because it slows your movement down and makes you really focus on like being in the moment and like feeling the energy and like moving the energy around you and through you, all the movements. That's like what it's about. Let's talk about like frequencies for a second, because energy and frequencies are kind of hand in hand. And I believe Shout out to quantum physicists and y'all bringing this to light in the science community, because there used to be like some woo woo like mindset around like quantum physics and like the fact that like we're all vibrational, and like the vibrations of other things, other creatures, other people can affect you, right? Like just somebody with bad energy, they can come and touch you on the shoulder and it can put you in a bad mood type shit. And like people used to really, I call them the positivity preachers.
Yeah.
They used to really reject this scientific fact that you can be affected by energy. It was all about like, well, you just need to have a positive mindset. You just need to change your mind. And don't get me wrong, like energy cleansing, it works and you're right. But that doesn't change the fact that someone else's energy can still shift your energy, even if it's just for a moment, right? And that we have to be aware of what someone else's energy can do for us internally.
Yeah, absolutely. Lex talks about all the time. You know Lex, right?
Yeah. We love you, Lex.
We love you, Lex.
We love you, Lex.
But yeah, she genuinely like will not allow certain people to touch her
Yeah.
if she feels like they have a bad vibe for them.
Period. Like you can't not be around me, but you can't be close to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Like she literally like she's a hugger, but she like no, people will be mad because they'll see her hug everyone, and she like, but not you know. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But when it comes to frequency, well, that's going to be in the rest of the episode.
In fact, so look at me.
So yeah, when it comes to frequencies, there's so many different frequencies, obviously, that you can listen to or create or whatever the case is. But just for a few examples, some of the most recognizable ones, I think the most widely known one would be 528 hertz.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, it's called the love frequency. It's good for transformation, stress reduction, etc. One of my favorites is 432 hertz. I try to listen to it when I'm trying to manifest, when I'm journaling, when I'm intention setting. It's supposed to resonate with the natural patterns of the universe. And the list goes on. I'm not going to sit here and list all these. But one thing I personally have seen a huge difference in with myself is I do actually take pride in listening to different frequencies.
Yeah.
I think my dad recently put me, not recently, but like within the last year, put me onto like handpan music early in the morning, or even like vocal frequencies. I don't know if y'all know, I can't think of her name, like Seba.
Oh, SEBA.
Something.
Yeah, that's correct. Seba.
She's amazing, but just starting my day off with certain frequencies, ending my day with certain frequencies, and it doesn't have to be just song bowls, like some days I just want to listen to a little jazz or things like that.
Yeah.
Even the other day I had a horrible headache and I literally got in the shower, cut the lights off, and I put on migraine healing frequencies. And when I say that shit works, it really works. Like I use music as a huge part of resetting my own nervous system, and everyone has their own ways that they manipulate their own energy and frequencies. But for me, music has been like the biggest thing over this last year that really keeps my mind sound.
Have you ever done sound bowl therapy?
I have not. At the end of every few yoga sessions, they will pull a sound bowl out, and it's like the most amazing thing ever. But I have not physically been to a sound bath.
Oh, it's so good, and you could just feel everything vibrate. I know a healer that does their water sound baths. So you go and you float in the water, and then she gives you a sound bath while you're floating in the water. And like when I say that shit will like completely reset all of your chakras and like put you in a place of alignment, like that is one of the like quickest, most effective, like just changing your frequency.
Yeah.
Quickest, most effective ways to just kind of reset your energy.
The scientific explanation I've heard behind it, especially as humans, like, they always say we're mostly made up of water. And the way that frequencies vibrate through water is like harmony. Like it's like this magic behind it that we probably will never fully understand, but it exists and it is scientifically proven. And they even have the videos, like they'll show you like playing certain frequencies
for water.
The water, the sand will like make these beautiful patterns that you often see in yoga practices and stuff. So it's a really dope thing. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I love music.
Period. Let's shift a little bit and talk about frequencies in a different way. So before I really like got into sound healing and like I was meditating, but I wasn't like really into like Reiki or anything else like that. I loved trees. Right? And I'm about to get super earthy woo-woo with y'all. Trees are the best example of like a physical representation of your brain and your brain network. Okay. And it's because the roots in trees connect. And actually, when I was in Hawaii, I was talking to some of the locals that I met there. Like, this is one of the coolest things about the trees there specifically, because you can physically see where like a tree will have started to die, right? And then the roots will connect to another tree, and then the trunks start to connect. And so you see a tree, it was growing over here, and it just slowly but surely moved closer to this other tree to give it more life, right? And we have that same effect as humans. Like, if you're surrounded by, I tell people this all the time, like if you're surrounded by people and their energy is not aligned with yours, like you will slowly but surely align with where they are. And if it's not somewhere that you want to be, like you have to be mindful of the fact that you're spending time with them. And a lot of people, especially young people, it like hurts them because it's like you want to be around the people that you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you make space, you're able to receive more and receive different. And so, like, people of a certain stature, of a certain spiritual mindset, of a certain energetic frequency, like, they will not reduce where they are to come to where you are. You have to bring yourself up to meet them.
So we have to prepare the glasses because you want the, you know how people say, meet me where I'm at?
Yeah.
The tea is like that too. It wants to meet a hot glass. It doesn't want to be poured into a cold glass.
No, facts. Okay.
So yay, Miss Holly is gonna make us some
Some tea.
citrus tea.
Citrus. A full Gonfu tea ceremony could take about 35 to 45 minutes, like I said earlier.
Okay.
And through that ceremony, you would get 3 different teas, and you would
Okay.
get about 7 to 8 different steepings of those 3 different teas. Then we would try like different temperatures, different steeping times, just to get the different flavor profiles out of the tea. So we take you on this tea journey
Yes.
of relaxation and
Okay.
peace. So I'll grab a water. I'll be right back.
Okay, beautiful.
So I'll give you guys at least maybe 3 steepings just because I don't want to take up so much of your time. So we have to prepare the glasses because you want the, you know how people say, meet me where I'm at?
Yeah.
The tea is like that too. It wants to meet a hot glass. It doesn't want to be poured into a cold glass.
No, facts. Okay.
Because it changes the flavor profile. So we're going to add the water. And this is literally just water and tea. There's no additives, no sugar, no honey, no
Just
nothing.
the tea leaves. We love that.
Just tea leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be warm. So I'll share that with you guys.
Yeah.
And because we are doing an abbreviated ceremony, not the full 35, 45-minute ceremony, how I like to share my tea with my friends is as you're consuming the tea, you take this time, this moments to set intentions about whatever you got going on. And then whenever you're feeling not at peace or not at ease, you remember this moment that we shared together and these intentions that we set.
Okay,
So
period.
that's how we do tea here at the Belt.
Okay, period. Love it. Love it. Okay, so we're going to set some intentions.
So this particular tea I have at about 90 degrees, which is kind of warm.
Okay.
And I'm going to let it steep for 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then the next one, I'll do it the same temperature, but I'll let it steep a little bit longer.
Okay.
Glass number 2.
Beautiful.
The little glasses are so you can see like the different colors. So the more we steep it, the different color, the profile
The darker
colors
it's going to
change
get.
also,
Yeah.
And you know you have really good tea when you can steep this for like 2 minutes and it doesn't change the tea flavor or the profile.
Yeah.
So please enjoy your tea and remember to set those intentions as you sip.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. It's warm. We're gonna let this one steep about 45 seconds to give it a little more flavor. But
Is this a clay set that you're using?
yes, these are clay pots. We also
Yeah.
have porcelain pots too, but this particular one is a clay pot.
Yeah.
I love the color in this one. It's one of
Yeah,
my
I would say
favorite
they look
colors.
really cool. It's like a. Yeah, it looks like the inside of iridescent.
Mhm.
Good. Yeah.
Iridescent.
Look,
I know a little vocabulary.
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying.
I'm having such a great time with these ladies.
No, actually, this is them, by the way. That's their logo, the belt hat. That is super cute.
And this will be the second one I share with you guys. I've been going ham with this tea all day, so it may be a little lightweight because I've been.
She said, I've been going ham with this tea.
This is the last I'll share with you because we got business to do. We don't have all day. So please enjoy your tea.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I love the earthy smell.
Yeah. Are you guys coffee drinkers at all, or okay?
That's a chai. That's a masala chai that I'm drinking right now. Not a coffee person. If you bring me coffee, I'm probably gonna sip it and give it away.
Okay. I'm glad we're not coffee people. but not saying anything about coffee. But the difference between coffee and tea is tea also has caffeine in it, but it also has L-theanine, which is a depressant. So you get the upper and the downer, which actually gives you a more balanced feel. So you don't have that coffee high and you crash. You have this what we call a tea high. The more tea you drink, you're on this high where you just feeling completely focused, and the world is your oyster. You can just mold it however you want.
Period.
So that's why I sit drink tea all day.
Yes, drink tea and set intentions. Yes. Okay, get with Holly because she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, because you guys share tea with me, though, you get to keep these as your souvenir cups.
Oh my gosh.
The next time you use these glasses, you may not have tea in it. Thank you guys for sharing tea with me.
Thank you.
At any point throughout the rest of this day or the rest of this year, you feel not at peace, somebody want to mess with you, you remember this time, be like, you know what? No, I've already set my intentions and I'm at peace.
Not getting with me today. I had tea with Holly. I'm enlightened.
Today, okay. I'm at peace.
Hey, girl.
But since I'm on the camera. So this is our second location where you guys are now here at Pond City Market. So our other location is at the West Midtown location near English and Culpeper. Okay. And at that location, we have the Tea House and the Pond Food School. So I am actually been working on a 12-month program, a tea program where we have monthly tea. And you'll come in, you get a flavor card, you write down your flavor profiles, you write your intentions for that month, and it's a whole vibe. Okay, well, please come through if you can. Yeah. So I'll get y'all contact info off camera, and we'll talk about it.
Y'all not getting the digits, all right?
No, they're beautiful ladies, but unfortunately, you're not getting the numbers online.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Spoken for women.
Uh-oh.
Shawty a fiance.
Okay, so we've only had this business like a year and a half. Okay. And the most joy that I get about doing what I do is when people come back from a test ride or riding an e-bike, renting it, they come back with a smile like from ear to ear. They're like, what's going on? It's like, I just feel so good. I said, I feel like a kid again. Don't you? Like, that's exactly it. So that's what I love when people come back and they're like smiling. It's like, I just feel like a kid again.
Aw.
Joy. I love
Y'all come see Holly, man.
Come see us.
You can't come to the Beltline without getting a bite. Come on.
Right. Get some tea, rent some bikes, just sit and vibe.
This has been everything that we needed, period. I'm really done. I'm done with the podcast.
Right. What Blue Ivy do? It's over.
People of a certain stature, of a certain spiritual mindset, of a certain energetic frequency, like they will not reduce where they are to come to where you are. You have to bring yourself up to meet them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so like if you're always hanging out with people that are doing things that you know are morally wrong or are constantly making decisions that don't align with decisions that you would make, like you have to be present enough, wise enough to separate yourself and then align yourself with people that are where you want to be in order to elevate your life. Otherwise you'll like end in this cycle where you just keep making these decisions and end up in the situations. And it's like this, why me? Like, why does this shit keep happening to me? Why do I keep ending up in these situations? Well, it's the people that you're around and the decisions that you're making, and it's all related. Like, doesn't matter what you think is causing it. When you sit down and you really look at your life and you look at the people around you and you look at the decisions that they're making, you'll notice they start to align very closely. Especially the more time that you're spending with someone, the more you're letting them affect you and affect your mindset. So like mindfulness, I practice a lot of mindfulness activities. When I was 8, I started my journey of meditation, and I would do guided meditations every day for an hour. So I get home from elementary school, I turn off the lights. I had a bunk bed, so I would lay on the top bunk bed and I would meditate for an hour. And usually like in an hour meditation, like somewhere around like 30, 45 minutes, you start falling asleep. And this is where I started learning about like astral projection and lucid dreaming, right? Because you start learning that even when you are quote unquote unconscious, you still have an ability to tap into your consciousness, but you have to be aligned with yourself in order to do that. So like if you're not spiritually aligned with like where you are and where you want to be, like people that have a lot of nightmares and they don't know what's going on, they have no control over it. Like a lot of times that's what it is. It's not that your brain is trying to tell you something, and because you're not attuned to what your brain is trying to tell you, it's taking over your mind. Okay, so we were talking about energy a little bit and like giving and receiving energy. And I just want to talk a little bit more about the science behind that. So If you don't know, your hands and your feet, that's like the thinnest parts of your skin. Okay. And that's like the easiest way for you to give and receive energy. And like down to a scientific kind of like breakdown of it, like if you're sick, right, you can put like honey and onion skins on the bottom of your feet.
I put onions on my heels in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And it will start to clear up the inflammation because it goes automatically into your bloodstream the same way that like a shot would, right, without you having to take a shot. But there is, I want to say, a belief system. I won't say necessarily a science behind it, although quantum physics has proved a lot of this stuff, behind your hands. So your right hand is for giving energy and your left hand is for receiving energy. So if somebody was crying across the room for me, right, and I wanted to give them some energy, I could put my hand on my heart, right, to receive the energy of love that I wanted to share with them, and put my left hand up in their direction, or my right hand up in their direction to give that love to them, right? And it affects your aura field, right? And your aura has a color.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I could see auras because I was a little more attuned. I would do a lot of meditation to get back into that. But everybody has an aura, and your aura comes from your chakra alignment. So if your chakras are truly aligned, then your aura is like very vibrant, radiant, lots of colors. If you're really tuned into one chakra, it'll radiate the color of that chakra. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And all the chakras have colors, and we'll put a picture here so you can see the chakras and all of their colors, and dive into that more if you want to, because chakras could be its own conversation on its own. But like, you have the power to let energy in if you want to let energy in, and to keep energy out if you want to keep energy out. So say somebody's like spitting some shit and you're like, oh my God, like I'm taking this to heart, and you just want to receive it deeper. Same thing. You put the giving hand on your heart and the receiving hand towards them, so that you can take in the energy that they're giving and put it directly into your heart and take it to heart. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think this is important for people to know, because people talk about protecting their energy, and I need to protect my energy. And they're like, oh, like in order to protect my energy, I just need to not keep certain people around me. And like I said before, yes, but that's like a long-term thing. That's like I hang out with this person every day. Like, you're going to be in situations where people's energy doesn't align with you. And in those moments, the best way to protect your energy is to like kind of focus on where your hands are, right? So if somebody is like giving some energy that I don't want, I can just take my receiving hand and put it on me and focus on my own energy instead of focus on the energy that they're giving out. Does that make sense? And that right there will automatically like realign where you are in that moment, versus like, oh, I just need to walk away, I can't be around these people, because that's
not always an option.
Yeah, like you talk about like work environments,
Yeah.
or you talk about like being in a family environment that's kind of like toxic, and it's like, I just want to get up and walk away. But a lot of times that causes more problems than it does like actually fix the problem. And it also, like, realigning yourself will change the way that you're thinking about a situation. So like if somebody's saying something that's really pissing you off, it's really pissing you off, like instead of you just blowing up, like you can realign yourself to like what you really feel, what you really want to say, and then like realign the conversation and change the way that things are physically happening in your presence. And like, you have that power, but you have to be attuned to what you're feeling and then not succumb to it.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, feelings have power, but you are not a victim of your feelings. Like, just because you're feeling upset doesn't mean that you get to treat everybody like you're upset. You know, just because I'm pissed off doesn't mean I get to treat the whole world like I'm pissed off. Like, it is my responsibility to say, okay, this is pissing me off. Why is it pissing it off? What about it is pissing me off? Okay, how do I realign myself with what doesn't make me upset, or like where my mind should be in this moment? Because it could be like, I'm gonna talk about religion for a second, because religion's conversations, they can get really fucking heated, especially like if you feel really strong about your beliefs. And like, there's nothing wrong with somebody having beliefs that are different than yours, even if they contradict the person that you are, because beliefs are fluid, they change over time. But you're never going to change what somebody believes by combating what they believe. Like, that's just not how it works. You have to be able to like calm yourself down and meet them at common grounds.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta be able to get technically, quote unquote, on your level, so that we can have this conversation face to face without you taking what I'm saying as an attack on you and what you believe and who you are. That's how separation happens. That's how oh, I can't be around this person because they're Christian, they're too Christian for me, or this person has these Buddhist beliefs and they're just too fluid for me because I am a Christian, or whatever it is.
I feel like something that really helped me with that as I've gotten older is like not trying to understand the circumstance or situation, but understand the human emotion they're going through. So like they may be very upset or angry or sad about something, and you could be like, that's so stupid. Like, I don't understand. I would never get upset or angry about that.
Yeah.
But if you can think about a time that you genuinely felt that exact emotion, I think like that's just learning how to be an empath and like really open your heart up to them, and as a human be like, you know what, we all go through the spectrum of emotions. And I think that's where like people fail in conversations. They're not emotionally intelligent all the time, and I think we all can lack emotional intelligence when it's heated.
Facts.
But I have found that
Facts.
helps. Like maybe I don't understand your exact situation, but I understand the emotion you're going through.
Yeah. And I mean, like, not all the people in this world are emotionally intelligent. Like, some people are highly logical, and there's space for highly logical people. But if you're highly logical and you're watching this, there's a way to communicate information where it will be received, and there's a way to communicate information where it comes off as absurd and like
Kind of egotistical in a sense.
like you're looking down on the person in front of you, and you have to really attune yourself with how you communicate information, because the information that you're communicating might not be wrong, but it won't be received if you're not communicating in a way that it can be understood. So if I'm highly empathetic and I need emotion, and you're highly logical and you need no emotion, we both have to kind of adjust our expectations of a conversation so that we can meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Yeah. And that kind of brings us to the duality conversation.
Yeah.
I love duality. It's one of my favorite things about spirituality, because people feel like, I'm gonna go back to the positivity preachers, because I went to this church where it was like positivity was kind of like forced down your throat. Like, if you're going down a path and like things are not going the way that you want to, it's always, you need to be more positive, and you need to just see the light and be the light, right? And be love, and not let those things affect you. But things do affect you. And you can't you can't change the fact that things that do affect you, especially if it is truly like something that's like negative and is like bringing down not just your spiritual but your emotional, and it's affecting the way that you go about your life and the way that you're having conversations and are dealing with people in your life. Like, positivity is not always the answer. Duality is all about seeing the good and seeing the bad, and recognizing that there's space for both of them, and not avoidance. I think that positivity preaching, that's the quote that I'm going to use for like those types of people. And if you know, you know. But there is a place for anger. There's a place for hate in your heart, and that doesn't mean that it's who you should be or who you are. But sometimes people are going to say things, and it's going to make you feel all of these quote unquote negative emotions. And it's okay to feel your way through those emotions. In fact, if you don't feel your way through those emotions, they'll take over.
Right.
You know, I know you've met people that it's like everything is like sadness and anger, and you know, I just want to die. And a lot of times it's because they haven't taken the time to address, like, why do I feel this way? Why do I have all this anger? Like, what is it about my life or about the people around me that truly brings this to me? And a lot of times it's recognizing the things that you don't like about yourself and the people around you. And that right there, like, just addressing that there are bad to you just as much as there's good to you, will bring you so much clarity and help you carry a lighter presence when people are around you. You know, like, people always tell me, oh, I love your energy, Sam. I love your energy. I love being around you. But what you have to understand is, just like anybody else, I have my moments. I just know that if I'm having my moment, that that's time for me, and I don't need to put that on other people. That doesn't mean I don't talk to people when I'm not feeling good, but it just means like there's certain people that I know are safe to talk to about those things. There's certain places that I know are safe to go to. I go into nature a lot. Like, if I'm feeling some type of way about some shit, I will disappear into the woods. That sounds like some fucking...
No, it's just hilarious the way it came out.
I will. I'm into
seriously.
into the woods and out of the woods and home before dark, for all my drama geeks out there. But we talk about sunbathing, and getting vitamin D, right? And sometimes just that right there will change your emotions. You talk about watching running water, natural water. So like being in front of the ocean, looking at waterfalls, looking at streams, like it rewires your brain. Like, it's been proven that it changes your thought patterns because we're meant to be out in nature,
Right.
grounding, going
Yeah.
barefoot out into nature, and really like feeling the vibrations of the earth under your feet. Like, these things, it's a science behind it, the way that it changes you,
Yeah.
you know?
I fully agree. I often, like, even sometimes it's not even like the emotions of being like sad or angry. Sometimes it's like, I'm tired today. I need to go lay in the sun, or like
Get some
even
energy.
sometimes you need to get that bad energy out of the house. Open your windows. Open your windows.
And
But
sage.
yeah.
But
But
you some
in
sage.
reference to kind of what you were saying with duality, I think that's another thing I had to understand. I think especially, as teenagers, we go through those dramatic phases. I'm so depressed. Life is so not worth it. Like, baby, your life ain't even started yet. Calm down a little bit. But I think when I really started to accept, like, once again, a part of the human experience is you have to experience every emotion. It makes us human. So when you stop feeling like that emotion is the end of the world, and you can start teaching yourself, like, this emotion will pass. Let's acknowledge it right now. Let's understand what's going on. And what can I do to fix this, to bring me back out of this emotion? But that does not mean you can't go to your room and cry for a few hours. If that's what you want to do, go do that. Like, I do that all the time. Like, I just want to cry today, and that's what I'm going to do. And that does not mean, oh, like, I can't be sad. I'm not allowed to be sad. I have to keep shit pee and keep moving on with life. No, I'm sad today. I've learned, even like when people, they can tell I'm down, and that, are you okay? I'll straight up tell them, no, I want to be left alone today. Like, yeah, no, I'm okay. No, fuck that fake shit. Like, it's okay to, because and I think the more you speak about it, the more you feel better about it, because sometimes we're so used to hiding everything that you forget that every human relates to exactly what you're going through. So sometimes it's nice to be like, no, I'm having a horrible day today, and I don't need you to come hug and comfort me. It's just like, I should be allowed to say this and not feel shame in it, because I have to always be the bubbly friend, the therapist friend, the happy friend. Because I mean, I feel like that happens to the both of us. Like, we're the happy friend that people forget to check on. So you have to remember to check on yourselves. Like, I went through that for a while. It's like, damn, who's coming to check on me? But then again, I also am good at hiding my emotions.
In fact, no, I was gonna say that I'll like go through a period, because I'm not a big crier. I'm gonna say it's the Taurus in me. Like, I'm just not an emotional
creature. Being,
like, I'm emotional, but I'm not here to like let all my emotions like spill out into everything that I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I will sit down sometimes and I'll think to myself, like, damn, it's been a minute since I just had a good cry. You know, I'd be like, damn, it's been fucking months since the last time I really just sat and like cried shit out. And then I'll like put on the sad music and like go lay in the shower and let the water fall on me. Cause I don't like,
so real.
When I say I do not like to cry, bro, like, I don't want to feel that shit on my face. Like, I'm gonna cry in the water. Like, it's just fucking already happening. Type
That's
shit.
so real. That's so real.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm already wet, so now it doesn't really matter that I'm crying.
You know what that just reminded me of, though? Like, and just random fact that we can throw out there, for the sake of facts and frenzy. I think obviously everyone needs to cry, but I think especially as women, we are more in tune to that, like, physically vocalizing that. And it just reminded me of that post you sent me when you were saying, like, oh, women like achieve better orgasms when they physically. You sent me that post, something to do with. You said you want to talk about it. So what's the facts? Like, because that's just what it's reminding me of. Like, women at the end of the day, we are wired a little differently. And it's like, when you can vocally express emotion out loud, I think it resonates a little deeper.
Yeah, we can talk about.
Maybe we just like throw the screenshots up on the thing.
We'll throw the screenshot up there. We can talk about orgasm a little bit, but I don't want to get super deep into
No. We don't even got to talk about it for it. It's just like, it was a scientific fact that as a woman, like, and that makes so much sense.
Yeah, like, we need physical attunement, we need physical connection, and it's also something that you're in control of, right? So like, a lot of women, they'll like blame their partners. They'll be like, oh, I can't orgasm because he's not this way or she's not that way. And really what it comes down to is your own ability to be comfortable with yourself, right? So if you know you've had like a stressful last day and you need to de-stress, right? Just going to have sex is not gonna get rid of that stress. It might give you like a temporary moment of dopamine boost, because that's what orgasm gives you, is that dopamine boost. But at the end of the day, like, you need to sit with yourself and cleanse that energy, right? And get yourself to a point where it's like, okay, now I'm ready for release. Like, now that I got all this buildup, now that I'm feeling a little bit better about myself, now that I'm feeling a little bit more confident, or now that I'm like really in tune with like the stress that's in me, right? And I know where the stress is and where I need to release it. Now you can come dig that shit out.
I'm crying.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
real.
it's like
That's real. That's just what the conversation reminded me of. Like sometimes all humans need to cry, but sometimes as a woman, you physically need to go in that shower and turn that fucking sad music on and physically
bro.
sob. I'm not talking about the little. No, I'm talking about you need to fucking cry.
You're right,
You
being
need
there.
to go. You
all that shit. Yes. I remember one time I went in the shower to cry, and my fiance, like, he was outside the shower for like a minute, and then he came and knocked at the door, and he was like, "Are you okay?"
I'm having a great time.
And I was like, yes, I missed my mom, and there's just so much stuff going on emotionally, and I just needed to process it, and he just came and sat with me while I was in the shower and held my hand. And sometimes that's all you need, like if you're not the type of person, if you're like me and you like don't like people in your face when you're feeling your emotions, find somebody that can just sit with you and let you feel it, right? Because I'm one of those people, like if I'm angry, if I'm crying, if I'm sad, like even though I'm a lovey-dovey, touchy person, I'm not gonna want you to like love on me and touch on me like that. Like you might actually put me in a place of feeling more uncomfortable and more unsafe because you're trying to force your energy on me. I'd rather you just be able to sit with me.
I'm very much like that as well. Or especially when you're upset. That's why like you ever like be around a group of girls that like she's crying, everyone let's go comfort her. I'm the one that's like, please don't go comfort that girl. Like unless she physically is okay with that, like because I'm like that. Like do not fucking come over here trying to touch me and ask me what's wrong and like you're pissing me off right now.
No facts.
Like give me my space. I appreciate the love, but like seriously, I'm not that type of girl. I'm not that type of friend unless I know that's your love language. Do not expect me to. I'm going to just sit there and look at you crying. I'm gonna walk away. Yep. I don't know, like I feel like that's a Virgo thing. Like, wow, she's such a bitch. No, because that I'm responding with my own safe love language. Yeah. I know for a fact if I'm crying and doing all that, don't come over here. No facts. Don't come over here. And but
I was talking about this actually the other day with this one, about how like I'm that friend, like I'm both emotional and logical. So if I see you in a certain place and I know that you just need like some tough love, I'm gonna be that tough lover. Like I don't care. It's not that I don't care about your feelings, but like I don't care if you gotta cry in front of me. Like if you gotta cry and we gotta talk this out through those tears, like that's what's about to happen. But like I'm gonna give you the business if no one else is, because I don't want to see you go down a path that's not aligned with the person that you're trying to be. Especially if I see you trying to elevate your life. You're saying, Sam, like I'm trying to do this, that, and the third. I'm trying to be like this. I want a man like that. I want somebody like this in my life. Like I'm gonna say like, yeah, but like, look at you and the actions that you're taking and the person that you're trying to be. And then ask yourself, if you were that person, would you choose you? Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that hurts. Sometimes that really makes you like sit and think.
Yeah.
But also you need people like that in your life that are going to look at you and say like, you're cool and loving and caring and amazing, but you have flaws and you need to be aware of these flaws. And you need to also, like, if you want to quote unquote better your life or like move on to another chapter, you need to address them. Like you can't just be aware of them and say, okay, yo, I know I like this. It's like a lot of people are like that. They'll be like, oh no, like I'm a crash out. I know I'm a crash out. Like, so I just stay away from situations that make me crash out. Like, that's not going to work. Cause like eventually something's, it's not going to fucking work. Something's going to happen and you're going to crash the fuck out. And then you're going to be right the fuck back where you were. You need to understand why you're a crash out. What is it about you? Oh, I have all of this trauma from when I was a child that I'm carrying with me, or this past relationship that I was in, like it was abusive, and like all of this abuse, like I carry that fear of abuse with me. And so instead of just dealing with what I'm feeling and understanding that maybe in that moment, although it's a safe space, I don't feel safe. Right.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we gotta definitely switch topics, but like just one more thing. I'm also a tough lover. Simply one, the Virgo in me, I don't know how to say nothing but the truth. And it's because I also expect people to always be honest with me. I don't care how brutally honest it is. Like if you're sugarcoating shit, it pisses me off even more.
No facts.
Like sit here and tell me what the fuck is like what I'm doing wrong. But I also feel like I'm a tough lover because I feel like that's when people are they're most vulnerable and they're most receptive to your energy. And as long as they feel safe with me and understand I have their best intentions in mind, conspiring for their greatest good, it's like I know in the moment it's going to be hard and they're not going to respond for it, but they at least receive the message. Versus if we're out having a great time and I'm sitting here trying to like give you a pep talk and you're just like, shut the fuck up.
No
But like
facts.
when you really hit rock bottom, that's when you're like most receptive to the people that you trust to say what they need to say.
Yeah.
And you'll at least reflect on it because you're gonna remember that day you cried really hard and all the things that
Mhm.
were said in that moment and what was going on in your mind. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, side note.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the saying, fear is the greatest motivator amongst men?
I've never heard it, but I can believe it because fear can either push you or hold you back.
Mm-hmm. So, like, we talked about this on another episode, like, briefly, but, like, the fear of success and how, like, a lot of people, they don't fear failure, they fear success, and they start getting a little taste of success, and they start pulling back, because it was like, oh, I don't know if I was ready for that, right? We both kind of have that,
Yeah.
right? For, like, probably 90% of people, fear is the reason that they do what they want. And you can listen to people, like really successful people, talk about why they are where they are, and they'll say, oh, I just didn't want to be where I was anymore. I was fearful of the person that I was becoming. I was fearful of where my life was leading. And that's what motivated them to get up and become a different person. And goes back to duality, like every emotion has a place. If you fear something, it might just be because you need to face it. A lot of people, they feel like, because I fear something, it's something I need to avoid. It might just be that this fear that you have is something that you need to like stand up and deal with. Side note, that doesn't mean put yourself in situations that are questionable to like your safety and your humanity, right? Because if it's like, I could talk about this briefly, I'm not going to get into it, but like I have an abusive ex, right? And after that relationship, there was like a lot of just like fear in my life about who to trust around me and like what to do with my life and like if I was even worthy of love and like all of these things. And I had to really step away from people and deal with all of the fears that I had to be able to open myself up to have a healthy relationship, to open myself up to have other healthy relationships, because all of that fear was just holding me back. I would get to a certain point with somebody and then I would get a little bit traumatized and I'd be like, I gotta stop. I can't do this anymore.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Having a panic attack, sitting in the closet, fucking sitting in the laundry room. I got so many fucking stories, crying on the couch while you sleeping in the room next door.
Yeah.
I'm in my car in the back seat with a blanket on. It's freezing outside. I just don't want to, I don't want to move. I don't know what to do. I'm just like fear.
Yo,
you know?
Those attacks are insane. I like
Panic attacks suck.
they are because like I don't
They
really like I don't experience it for no more, but like you said, like fresh out relationship, like I've had multiple abusive exes, like rather it was like in any type of emotion, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like I do remember like going through a full blown like either I'd fully crash out or I'd fully shut down, and I could literally lay there still for like 2 hours, like not move at all. And they're like trying to like get you to come back and all these things. Yeah, that's just no joke. But
disassociation.
Yeah, like it's serious.
That shit right there.
And like and it can be with friendships as well. Like my trust for people didn't only come from relationships, it came from shitty friendships. So it's like that can really be a thing, but it's tying all of the things that we're talking about back into the sake of the episode. These are real energies right here. Like you have your low vibrational emotions, you have your high vibrational emotions. And if you're stuck resonating in low vibrational emotions and you're constantly living out of fear and letting these emotions dictate you, the anger, the sadness, the living in your past, all these things, yeah, like they really can mess up the entire flow of progressing your life forward. And low vibrational emotions, you're going to always experience them, but when you are resonating them in your life, you're not ever going to reach that potential you're trying to hit because you're stuck in this low frequency. We got to raise our frequencies. We got to raise these vibrations.
Yeah, because you'll just keep manifesting like more of that in your life.
Yeah.
You'll manifest more fear, you'll manifest more anger, you'll manifest, and you'll be like, oh, like this is just my life. A lot of people are like that. They'll be like, oh no, like this is just how I am. And it's like, that's just how you are right now.
Right.
You have control.
It's temporary. Every single emotion is temporary. Even like when you reach the happiest, highest point in your life, that shit can get taken away in a heartbeat. And you're right back at an emotion you thought you would never feel again. I think some low vibrational emotions people have a tendency of overlooking is something as simple as jealousy.
Facts.
Envy. Like you may be happy and but why are you always jealous of your friends? Why are you always jealous of the things you don't have? Why are you so envious of that person that got that promotion? Why are you so, there's slight, we always think anger, sadness, hatred, but like what about spitefulness? Like there's so many low vibrational emotions.
Period. Gluttony, like all that shit. really good. It's
Yeah.
already gotten pretty juicy, but I want to know, how did you get into energy and spirituality on your own? Like, what's your journey with that?
I have more of the actual factuals
Okay.
of it all, where I feel everything for me spiritually has been slightly just through it personal experiences. And for me, I drew away from religion at a young age because I started realizing I like girls at like 13.
Mm.
And the Bible said no,
Mm.
according to everyone else, at least. The Bible said no. So I kept having like almost panic attacks through high school anytime religion came up because I felt as if I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I remember like crying in the shower, like, God, why am I gay?
Why am I like this?
Help me.
Yeah.
But once I discovered, after I went through my car accident, I broke my collarbone. I was in a very low, dark, and lonely place. I was very alone, and I kept asking myself, like, well, who do you talk to? You have no one to talk to, because I was refusing to go to therapy. And then one day I just went on a walk, started talking to nature, talking to the sky. I was like, if there's a higher power out there, like, listen to me. And I'm just talking, like, screw the filters. God knows I cuss. God knows what I done did in the past. So I'm just having open conversation in nature. And I kept doing that because I realized it was making me feel better. And I started feeling all these signs and answers and energies. You know, when you have a prayer so good, like you feel the tingles through your body, or just any type of spiritual connection, you start feeling those tingles. So for me, it really was just a moment of I have no one else to talk to. And through that, I have read some spiritual books a little, and I just really started focusing on what would it be called? Not balancing, but or not resetting.
Aligning?
Just regulating my nervous system. Anything
Mhm.
that regulates my nervous system, doing things that I know make me feel more in touch with myself, more in touch with God or the higher spirit or whatever you believe in.
Mhm.
And through that, the only thing I have as proof is my daily testimonies of when I ask God for an answer, he would give me a sign. He's not gonna verbally tell it back to you, but like when you really reflect on your days at the end of the day, you'll be like, oh, I remember praying about this morning, and it could be something as simple as a blue jay flew by me. I don't know. Like sometimes I'm looking into symbolism or what are things that seem like they would be coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in everything is happening exactly at the right time, which is another reason I believe in angel numbers, not so much for what they signify, but if you specifically have a certain angel number, I see that when I am doing well in the spirit, I see my angel numbers a lot. And I feel like that's just the universe's way of telling me not so much that, oh, 111 means this and 444 means that. But when I see these numbers, I realize is the universe telling me you're exactly where you're supposed to be. It's crazy because I look up and see 1 and 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my angel numbers. But I feel like that's the universe's way of telling you you're doing exactly what you should be doing, exactly at the right time. You're exactly where you need to be, and everything is aligning. Versus when I'm slacking and I'm not in my spiritual faith, I feel like I'm at spiritual warfare and everything's off balance, and I never see my angel numbers. I could sit there and watch the clock all day. I'm not seeing these angel numbers.
Yeah.
And I can go deeper into it, but that's just a brief. I don't want to ramble. I think as you speak, I'll kind of be able to bounce off of you a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, my experience with religion was kind of complex. My mom grew up Baptist, okay, and so when I was very young, we actually didn't go to church because my mother, when she left her family in North Carolina, she kind of left the Baptist church and wasn't really sure what she wanted to do. And my dad's Catholic; he's Irish Catholic. To this day, he's Irish Catholic. He goes to an Irish Catholic church. He's married to a Baptist woman, and they go to every other Sunday. They go to the opposite church, right? And that's how they've decided to deal with it. Sure about God as this symbol, this being, you know? And so I remember very distinctly, I was like 8 and I was sitting down playing with my mom's plants, and she was asking me, she was like, you know, what do you believe about God? And I was like, well, I don't really know. Like, I know that there's something that's greater than me, but I don't know like who or what God is. And she was just kind of like, that's okay. You know, you don't have to make any decisions about God today. It is whatever you want it to be, as long as you feel a connection to something outside of yourself. And so I really kind of went on this journey of religious exploration from that point. Me and my mom started going to a non-denominational Christian church for a while. And she really kind of like found a home there. but I was in kids church. You know what I'm saying? I'm upstairs playing games and doing like kids Bible study. And then when we decided to leave that church because the reverend or whatever changed, there was a new pastor. I don't know what they're called. I ain't been there since I was 8. So y'all do whatever you want in the comments about that. But we started going to a spiritual scientist church, which is not to be confused with Scientology or Tom Cruise. Okay, so don't do that. Don't do that. Right. Spiritual sciences is like essentially the study of spirituality. So in this church, I started going there when I was like 9, 10 ish. Y'all remember all my church friends. And this was like a church where it was more about your energetic being and your connection to the world around you. And so this is where I learned about affirmations and ways to like properly form affirmations. Like your words are connected to your chakras and your chakras are connected to your actions. And again, we'll put the chart up here so you can see all of the chakras, and there's like a different way to start the statement based off of what chakra you're trying to connect with. And a full affirmation goes through like all 7 chakras. So it's like I am, I do, I see, I hear, I feel, all of those things. I like the things I remember most about this church was I could go down into the bookstore, and if I wanted to pick up a book on like Taoism or like Tai Chi, it was there. Yeah. If I wanted to pick up the Bible, it was there. If I wanted to look at the Torah, it was there. The Quran, it was there. Because it wasn't about like the exclusion of other people's thought processes, but understanding that all religion has similar. Yeah. Does that make sense? And for me, that's always been love. I have the words "be love" tattooed on my chest. And that's the one thing that I've noticed about all religions is like there's this common theme of love your elders, love people around you, love the earth, love your gods, whatever it is. Love is necessary to be experience life, and don't experience love and don't share love. They often come with all of these like uncomfortable questions and like fear and all that other stuff we talked about earlier. That doesn't really, it divides you, it keeps you away from finding your path. So my religious journey has kind of been figuring out like a lot of the questions that I used to get is like how do you see God? Yeah. Right. And when I was a kid, it was actually, I had this dream. It was like this big puppet master, right? And the puppet master was this genderless baby, and it just had like a million strings from its hand, and it was just playing fucking puppets with people and doing whatever it wanted to, and like giggling and crying and like doing all the things that babies do. And as I've become an adult, I've kind of like breaking that down as like your inner child has the strongest connection to God, right? And so it's those feelings that you get, those inner child feelings that you get, that is God's communication through you. And then when people ask me, they're like, well, do you think God is a woman? Do you think God is a man? Do you believe in God as the universe? I say none of the above. I'm scientific. I believe in energy, right? I know that energy is a source based and created pretty much from the sun. If it wasn't for our sun, we wouldn't have majority of the life that we have here. And then all of the belief systems that people have would not exist because there would be no human form, there would be no human life. Maybe it would exist somewhere else, I don't know. But I know that the universe has always existed, that these stars, they've always existed. So my vision of God is the universe, right? The universe is our creator. It created our world. It created many other worlds. And there's so much more to explore out there than just the beliefs that are had on the human experience here. I feel like a lot of religions, they kind of focus on life and death and the human experience, but there's so much more to life than just that. And so I really kind of expanded my vision of what energy is, what God is. Like we all have an innate ability to connect with this earth, right? So when I was a kid, you talked about going on walks and talking to nature. I told you I used to hug trees. I still hug trees, right? Because that vibrational experience of nature
Yeah.
is just kind of changes your inner chemistry.
Right.
But I also am a stargazer and a moon gazer, right? And so I would just go and lay out for hours and cry and look at the stars and do the same thing. I would talk to myself, and just kind of ask questions and know that the answers would come eventually.
I love that you say that. Not to cut you off, but
You're good.
because yesterday you were kind of briefly touching on how everything already exists. You just have to find your way to it. And I believe what I started realizing was that we as humans are infinite, and you can genuinely become any single thing that you ever think of. And thoughts are not just something you just thought of, like, right? We're not the first people to think of it.
Yeah.
Thoughts, I believe, and desires are directly placed in your heart from God.
I did it
and
again.
What? You spilled again? She can't drink wine.
This wine is not the best. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why her mouth is rejecting it. It's like
this wine is not the best, but we're here.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And so we as humans were infinite, and any desire that was placed in your heart was because it was meant for it to be there. And I think we have so many self-limited beliefs, which is what I'm really trying to work on. Like, if we have a thought, like, that I can genuinely execute, it doesn't matter if I have the answers, doesn't matter if I have the resources. I believe that's where prayer and manifestation and all these things come in, so that you can get on the frequency that you need to attract things you need, or to find the knowledge, or to find the signs within you. And one of my beliefs that I think would be extremely controversial, but I'm here for the controversy. Eat me up in the comments if you want. I'm crazy. However, I believe that we ourselves, because I don't want to sound disrespectful and I don't want it to come out wrong, but I'm going to say it. I believe we ourselves are God. Like, awakening, and I was getting all of these realizations and answers at once. Like, number one, the biggest thing I learned was to go to God with no fear. Like, I think a lot of times in religion, you're taught to fear God. People tattoo it all over themselves, fear God, fear God. But that was when God actually started to resonate with me. When I realized God does not resonate in low vibrational frequencies. God is nothing but love. So I can come to God as I am and say, hey, like, this is who I am. This is me, and God will love you regardless. The earth, the universe is going to love you regardless, and people around you will love you regardless. So when I came to that conclusion, that's when I stopped rejecting myself and started allowing God in my life. But the controversial idea I have is, one day me and my cousin sat down and we were just genuinely talking. He was getting extremely heavy into his faith, and I love hearing him talk about it. He's a very invested Christian. Like, he's going to school for this stuff, like everything. He wants to become a pastor, a youth minister, all these things. And we were sitting down talking, and he was talking to me. He's like, he was just asking me about religion and do I read the Bible and da da da. And we were expressing our ideas to ourselves very openly.
Yeah.
And he was expressing Father, Son, Holy Spirit to me. And I was like, I believe in the exact same thing, just in different terms. Because I don't know how to explain what I believe, but I believe it's like creation, creator, creation, and then creators within creation, which I believe are all directly intertwined through the ether, through energy, through frequencies. And that can get a very sticky topic, but that's my own personal beliefs. Maybe there's someone else out there that can resonate with that, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize anyone else felt that way. But I think, similar to what you were saying, at a young age, you kind of started realizing there's so much similarity.
Yeah.
And I think that started for me in the 5th grade. I went to a very predominantly Black and Christian believing school, but for whatever reason in 5th grade, it seemed like majority of my friends were Muslims. So we used to sit down and just have all these conversations, and we would be so intrigued with each other. Well, like, in my religion, we believe in this, and well, in my religion, we believe in this, and that sounds very similar. And so I didn't take it as far as religious studies as you did, but I do remember that was a subject I was very interested in school, like Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, all these things, and how they all are kind of intertwined. That's when I was just like, I think I just prefer the term spirituality over religion, because I believe spirituality is a direct experience for me personally, because I didn't read up on it. I didn't talk to anyone about it. It was all just private prayers, walks in nature, everything I went through, versus where I felt like religion was kind of an idea automatically placed in your head. Like, you grow up in this family, and a lot of people that are religious, they go off on their own and really take their religion for themselves, and they find themselves in that religion. But to me, religion was like a already made up, not made up, but already an idea that's placed in your head. And a lot of people that are religious, they don't really dive deep into their religion. They just go with what they were taught their whole lives. versus kind of externally figuring it out for themselves. So I do prefer to say that I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that made me think of two things. Remind me, no, because that's the second thing. Okay. The first thing you said, that you believe that you are God, right? And there was actually this thing in my church. A lot of you know this concept of namaste. It means the God in me respects and honors the God in you, that you and I are one, right? And so it is. And it's pretty much the same concept. It's saying, like, I recognize that there's God in you the same way that there's God in me, regardless of who you are, what you believe, what you've done, right? And I think that regardless of what somebody believes, if you can just try to grasp that concept, that even like the worst of the worst person still has, like,
Yeah.
and that they can be quote unquote saved or found, which I have been quote unquote saved in my life twice. So I don't think that a blessing or saving someone has anything to do with the path of their life and what they actually become. I think that it's just a symbol for, acceptance
Yeah.
in the Christian community. And I really love having conversations with Christians about Christianity. Like, I'm not one of those people, like, if you're, I don't want to call you a Bible thumper, but if you're doing that, you know what I'm saying, on the streets, like trying to convert people to Christianity by like reading them the word, like, I will not argue you down, but I will toe to toe with you
Yeah.
about your beliefs and why you think that I'm somehow unworthy of God's love because of my beliefs. Because I feel like somebody who is a true Christian, who truly believes in Christianity, the whole thing is to love all children of God. And if we're all children of God, whether or not we believe, right, then for you, and I've experienced this from like a lot of, especially like newer Christians that are like trying to figure it out, and they start going on missions, and it's like their thing. They want to convert people because God saved them, and they want God to save everyone. But it's like, who are you to say that somebody that lives a good life, is good to people, does the right things, and doesn't believe in God doesn't deserve the same love and respect that you would deserve?
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't
Right.
deserve quote unquote heaven, if that's what you want to do at the end of your life, you know what I'm saying, if that's what you believe in. So I think that this is going to get a little scientific. EB up in the comments, I don't care. Religion is a social contract, and the reason that there's so many sects of so many religions is because based off of where you are, the things around you socially, you fall into certain groups, and your beliefs are shaped by the people around you. And until you take time on your own, and most people do it in their adult life anyways, at least in America, we take time on our own usually to explore ourselves spiritually. Until you take that time on your own, like, your beliefs will always be shaped on based off the people around you and what they believe.
Yeah.
The second thing was no. All right, this is something that I learned also in my spiritual journey. So the universe does not compute the word no, right? So we talk about things like manifest and affirmations, and you're like, I don't want anymore. And all of those words, don't, won't, not, can't, they're just abbreviations. That's why there's the N apostrophe T of no, not, right? And so the way it scientifically is broken down, the universe hears the beginning of the word and misses the NT, right? So if you're like, oh, like, I don't want to be around negative people, but you feel like there's always negative people around you, you have to change your words to, I want to have more positive people around me.
I like that.
I talk about positivity preachers. This is where like a lot of that comes from, because your words do control your world to an extent, right? But I always try to teach people this, because I hear people a lot of times being like, I can't do this, or I won't do that, or I won't accept this, and then they're like, but my life just, I keep seeing these things and having these experiences, and in my experience, at least, it's the way you're speaking about the experiences the same as you're moving about your experiences. So if you just have this negative outlook on the things that you do not like in your life, then when you speak those things into existence, you're actually manifesting more of them without even knowing it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Something very interesting you just reminded me of that I heard, which is why I want to like heavily start getting into journaling again. I used to try to journal daily. I try at least weekly, which is kind of weekly.
Get it? This light is weak right now.
No, actually. I'm like, the conversation's too good to start over.
Right, right.
But I saw this video was talking kind of just about how the importance behind journaling is because you have to physically bring things into this universe, right? And so kind of also relating off of where you saying the universe doesn't understand the word. No, technically the universe does not understand language at all. The only language it understands is love. So I believe that's why manifestation is so important, not just because you're saying the affirmations and writing them down and you're trying to redirect your thoughts. It's because you're bringing energy to that thought where now you can raise your frequency to be leveled with the frequency of the universe. And now you can start to manifest. So if you keep saying negative things, your brain is subconsciously going to continue to resonate with these negative things you're saying, and the universe is going to pick up on not what you said, but the frequency within it itself. So language is actually, that was one of the things I kind of had on our notes to talk about this in
Podcast,
this in this podcast, was simply that language is also another, or just tongues within itself is simply a frequency as well.
Yeah, because your thoughts create your words create your actions create your habits, and your habits ultimately become who you are.
Yeah,
That's like the path of how it works. Like, you have all these negative thoughts, but your life is super good, but that you want them to track all the way back and start with your thoughts. So when you have a negative thought, right, you're thinking, oh, I can't do this, I'm so afraid. You tell yourself, I'm so capable. Even though I have fear, I'm going to try this. And you start pushing through little by little and overcoming things. And then those words, they become those thoughts become words. Right now you're speaking out loud. You're like, no, I can do this, even though you've never tried it before. Right. And then you go and you try it. Those thoughts become actions. And you're like, no, I've actually really done this. Right. And then you do it over and over again, and you start becoming more seasoned at it, and you become a quote unquote professional. We talked about what makes a professional, right?
Yeah.
Professional in your own terms, right? And now it's a habit. So now it's no longer just something I thought about doing, but it's something that I said I was going to do, that I went out and tried, that I did over and over and over again. I failed at, I got better at, and now it's something that I know I can do. So,
and I think that sometimes that's very important, because sometimes as humans, we talked about before, you need proof to believe things. So it's like, that's the proof in the pudding. I think that's when it's more important to be emotional. I believe that's when it's more important to be logical than emotional, because if you're down talking, you're limiting you have these self-limiting beliefs. But when you can be logical in that moment, and sometimes I think that's where the self-talk really does come in, like, hey, you did this before, you know how to go about it, you've learned how to go about it better. And even for me, sometimes I can sit there and try to just sit in my thoughts and pray or try to manifest in my head, but I feel different when I say them out loud. Little things like that. I have a whole nother conversation I want to bring up. It was another like random belief.
Okay.
But I think this conversation is flowing good to the point. I want to make sure we cover all the bases here.
I really don't have very much more to add. I would love if you're one of these people that is deeply religious, and you're open to conversation, and you have questions for one of us, or you have like a thought that you feel like should be discussed, like drop it in the comments. Because I feel like religion is one of those things that it's discussed openly in private groups, but it makes people uncomfortable to discuss on open forums. It always becomes an argument, and I'm not here to argue with you, you know, but I am here to talk to you. So
absolutely, I do love different perspectives. Even like a few months ago, like I have a homeboy from high school. He started up these Bible studies for people our age, and I was like, I think I could use a different environment. Am I going to convert to a different religion or change my beliefs? For me, it was, I was in a space where I felt like I need to be around people that I know would be loving, and I knew for a fact these were not like hard in your ass Christians. I knew they would just be open. So I went. I loved a lot of the things they talked about, and I agreed with so many Bible verses we went over. They did resonate with me. However, I did choose to continue on my own journey. Shout out to them though; they're amazing people. But one like random thought that crossed my mind, because you were talking about the whole heaven and hell thing. A crazy thought I had, and this is when we're gonna get into like the conspiracies, but this is what I love to do: just talk about things. You were saying like whatever people believe in heaven and hell. I think another belief that came to mind for me was that when you tie in science, we were always taught that energy can never be created or destroyed. So I personally, like one day it was like this, I'm in deep thought, and I'm like, heaven and hell, or could it be possible for there to be a heaven and hell? Because other than literature, we have no proof that this is real. We don't actually know what happens after death. I'm like, can that be a thing when everything in this universe is energy and energy can never be created or destroyed? So that's when I started thinking like, maybe I should study up on like reincarnation or things like that. I'm like, what if we all just die and turn into trees? Like, you know, like
Technically, your body will.
something will always happen, right?
Well, technically, your body will rot into the earth, and you'll
become
a seedling for a tree, anyways. But
yeah.
So just like on a side of duality for what you're saying, like they say that energy is neither created nor destroyed. We're spiritual beings, and so I understand like this thought that like your spirit can pass on to another world, heaven or hell, right? But the way that I've always thought of it is heaven and hell is in your mind, right? And you live it every day. So you either live in your own heaven, you live in your own hell, and you make that decision based off of the thoughts that you have and the way that you create your world. I make a joke all the time. I'm like, in my next life, I'm gonna come back as a 5-course meal and make one person very happy. Like, I love food, so I'd be like, oh yeah, in my next life, I'm coming back as the best dinner somebody ever had. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I guess for me, I think more of like just living spirits. I'm like, you think about like plants are living.
You
like,
get energy from food too, girl. What do you mean?
That's so true. Yes, that's so true. But I guess I don't know how I like. It's one of those things I just like to. I don't care to like talk about it because I don't want to offend anyone. I don't really do research on it. Thoughts I had, or it was like, what if every time someone dies, they always say every time someone dies, a baby is born. But it's like, that can't decipher it because the baby's life already started. And to tell me, what if every time someone dies, a woman becomes pregnant? Like, or what if every time someone dies, a new, like, in like, even in the plant life, a tree falls, another tree is growing, a piece of grass gets cut, another patch of grass is growing. Like, I've just always thought, like, everything that was already in this universe will always and forever be here eternally.
Yeah.
Unless one of the fucking Big Bang theories happen or whatever. There's so many theories, and I just love talking about them. I'm such like a I'm such a what if ass girl. Like,
I'll come back as a tsunami and wipe out the whole East Coast. Like, I'm like, I as far as like afterlife and belief stuff like that, I haven't really fully grasped it because there's so many
possibilities.
There's so many possibilities for it, you know. Like we could literally leave this life and astral project to another planet and have a whole nother life.
No, seriously.
I do.
But no, you have those people that even claim, like, one not even claim, like, they were proven to be dead. They said they saw this light and then they chose to come back. Or like, you know, I'm like, I just have so, that should maybe even be like a whole nother episode. Like, I just have so many questions, not even that I'm concerned about, because if you walk in faith, you don't, when I die, I know I lived a great life and I know I'm going to be taken care of. And that's all I care about.
All that
like,
matters, yes.
Live life with love and have morals, and I think you'll be all right.
Yes.
I think you'll be all right.
Yes, and if I do end up underground with the devil, I know I'll be warm.
You bitch.
Not that much.
I ain't going to hell. I know that much.
Look, I don't know.
I don't care if I had a wife or not.
Look, I don't know. I don't know the rules. I don't make the rules. But I always, when I do talk to the universe, I always say, you know, I don't want to move in fear. I just want to move in faith, and my faith is leading me to make this decision. All right, this is Facts and Frenzy. I'm Samantha.
I'm Kylie.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. We're on all your favorite platforms. If you're not following us on Instagram or TikTok, you're missing out. All I'm saying.
Lots of goofy content on there.
You're missing
out.
Not
this stuff.
We're pretty funny. And next week we'll be back to talk about Black History Month. It's Friday. It's February.
Yeah.
It's February, Black History Month, even though I think Trump technically tried to cancel that. But anyways, it's in full effect for us. So we're going to be talking about all of the great people from the past. Well, not all of them, because obviously there's so many, but to the world today from then to now. So y'all don't forget to tune in, comment on this video. We want to hear your thoughts. And thank you guys so much for joining us. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Okay. Damn, that light
really was killing my vibe.
You couldn't hold on,
but I'm gonna
your life
turn it off for right now. Yeah.